a lot of people that watch us don't subscribe. It takes a second. It means the world to us, and it helps you find out the next time we talk live about wrestling. Last Sunday, we talked about AEW Dynasty. Were you able to catch the event? And
Yes, I was.
what did you think of it, besides that it was, in Wei Ting from Post Wrestling's word, way too fucking long?
Well, that's about what to expect with AEW pay-per-views. They're too long. I can't watch them in one sitting really anymore. I just got too much going on in my life. What did I think? Without even pulling up the card or anything from last week with here, I remember that that triple threat with Mike Bailey, Omega, and Ricochet. I thought, really tearing it up, really made Speedball look great. We're hinting at Omega and Okada still. We're setting that up for AEW All In. It was, what else was funny too, was like I was watching this and nothing really shocked me. In fact, there was a match we disagreed on. And I remember afterwards I was watching this. I'm like, I should have went with that. Joe was definitely right. I can't remember what match that was.
I remember that a lot of your predictions were right for this show, mainly because they were more like straightforward. I was thinking of kind of wild possibilities that could happen.
Adam Cole. That was the one where I didn't actually go at. I went with Daniel Garcia. And afterwards, as the match was coming up and they were setting it up, they talked about Adam Cole 17 years in his business. I'm like, this story is really more geared about Adam Cole getting this. Like, he needs to get this at this point.
Yeah, I was able to watch half the show live. I haven't gone back and finished it. It was great seeing Tony Storm and Megan Bayne. I love that went on earlier. I expected that to be like a co-main event, but it was great to see. Once again, with AEW pay-per-views, the in-ring action is never going to let you down, unless it's like a Chris Jericho match as of late. And what did you think of that match? I thought that was clunky, and I think it's good he's taken some time away, because it just seems not his time at the moment.
Right. No, I got no problem with that. I mean, I heard somebody saying, Jericho said recently he was open to coming back to WWE. Honestly, I think there's potentially good trades where, there's good people in WWE like, Bobby Lashley and Benjamin who've really done well in AEW. So I don't want to sound just like this, but I think Jericho's a guy who would probably benefit from going to WWE at this point in his career and maybe having a farewell tour there, like a John Cena, be fresh, be new, be big for that audience, but probably make this your last year. And then, I'd like to see Jericho, a Shawn Michaels type role, maybe helping produce and develop talent at this stage of his career. I don't know what he wants to do, but that would be what I'd like to see for the guy, honestly.
Yeah, because Jericho started off great in AEW.
Yes.
And I hate to say that he's gotten a little stale as time has gone on, because I'm such a Jericho fan, but it's like the learning tree was like the first gimmick for me that just didn't go over. Mm-hmm. And I love that he's trying new things. I love that he's still in it, but this just doesn't seem to be the place. And when you bring up his interest in going back to WWE at some point, it's almost like, why not?
Yeah.
And then you can do the producer schedule on like a little bit lighter of a schedule. Still be able to do the Fozzy stuff. And maybe get a little bit more of that aura back.
The only one thing I wanted to say before we forget about this show that I thought I also did enjoy was in the main event with Swerve and Mox. The Ops, Hook, Samoa Joe, Shibata all came down and stopped the Death Riders. Now, obviously, the Bucks were the big surprise, and they ended up costing, Swerve. And where that's going to lead, I don't know. But for me, I just like to see the rise of the Ops. I like to see Shibata and Joe back, Joe particularly back in a major storyline, and Hook being elevated and all that stuff. And I'm enjoying this stuff with Hangman and Swerve. From a storyline standpoint, the fact that Swerve basically is saying I was wrong for doing all that stuff. And, then we saw on Dynamite where, Swerve's manager there, Prince Nana, yeah. He wants to apologize. And Hangman just says, no, you don't get to do that. It's good television, I think, for these guys. I think some of AEW's best storytelling always seems to be centered around Swerve and Hangman.
Yeah, a lot of great storytelling going on in AEW.